I'm going to be sharing with you 5 ways to have more faith when you're trying to manifest. Because when you're trying to manifest something, there's always going to be doubts. There's always going to be fears that come along the way. There's always going to be things blocking you, especially when you're trying to step into the big manifestations. So in this video, I'm talking particularly about the big manifestations. This is not like if you're just trying to manifest a text message or money or like a quick manifestation. That's amazing, and I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but I'm talking about the big manifestations because you really need faith for those kind of manifestations, right? Like right now, I'm literally in the process of manifesting my dream life, and you're kind of witnessing this happen in my life right now. And so there's a certain level of faith that I need to stay consistent with posting every single day, reaching out to clients and doing all these things. And so you have to stay consistent with what it is that you want to create. You have to stay consistent, and to stay consistent long term and stay in the game, because here's the thing about success is that success is not a linear thing. It's like you put in the work, and then eventually your results start to accelerate, and then because all that energy you built up starts to explode your results, but you have to have like faith in the process. And that's how it always is for the big manifestations. So if you're new to this channel, I want you to hit that subscribe button and that notification bell, because I post a new video every single day. Also, if you wanted to work with me one-on-one, then consider applying for a free consultation by hitting the website that's in the description box of this video. So the first way to have more faith when you're trying to manifest something big, something powerful, like a business or the relationship that you've always wanted, or whatever it is that you want, this is how I do it at least. The first thing that I do is I always make sure to stay present to the moment. That is my number one thing that I always teach every single client that I work with. That's pretty much my life mission, is to connect as much as I possibly can to the present moment at all given moments. Because if you're not present, what happens is the ego starts to control your experience and convince you maybe why that thing can't be manifested. Because what the ego likes to do is it likes to pull you back into that old identity, right? You're about to level up, you're about to get to that new level, but then there's going to be some part of you that convinces you, why you can't stay consistent with that manifestation. It's going to try to pull you back. And so you want to stay present to the moment, because it's going to clear your mind. It's going to allow you to stay present even regardless of what emotions come up. Even if anxiety comes up, even if fear comes up, which is totally normal. Like, I don't have many of those emotions, but occasionally, for unknown reasons, I just get a random feeling of anxiety, and I don't identify with that anxiety because I'm at the point in my journey where it's almost like these anxious feelings come up for no reason. And it's not even for like my manifestation not working out. It's just like random past emotions that I don't really know why they're coming up, but then they come up. And so you want to stay present to the moment when you're trying to have faith, when you're trying to manifest something big, because staying present to the moment while combining that with the consistency will allow you to just get through the process so much easier. Like, if you're lost in your ego and you're lost in the past and the future, then it's going to be harder for you to manifest what it is that you want. So stay present to the moment and enjoy the process more, right? Enjoy the process. Stay present to the moment. The second thing is to have a support system. Okay, what does that mean? It means to have a system internally and externally that will allow you to stay consistent with your manifestation and stay confident that it's coming. Because I'll give you an example. My support system is I meditate every single day, no matter what. Right? No matter what, for the last 4 or 5 years, I have my meditation practice. No matter what, I do my meditation. And that's been a significant factor in terms of why I've been able to post a video every single day, no matter what, and stay consistent. Because when you commit to something every single day and you have it as a part of your system, then what happens is you're better in a flow and in an alignment to really manifest what you want. So I wake up every single morning, I do my meditation absolutely no matter what. Sometimes I'm super, super hungry, so I'll eat a meal and then I'll do my meditation. But I personally like to do it before eating because it keeps me super focused. And then so you want to have that support system internally. And so externally, I have my own coach. I have my own mentor to guide me through the process, because sometimes just believing in yourself is not enough, and you need these support systems to help you stay consistent with what it is that you want to create. Like, nobody needs a coach. I don't need a coach, but I have a coach because it helps me to stay consistent, because I already have somebody that's helped me to reach that point that I want to be at. Right? So having a support system is going to be super valuable when it comes to getting to where it is that you want to be. So internal and external, you can't neglect one or the other based on my experience. It's what my coach taught me. You want to have the internal support system, meditation, yoga, going for walks. Have that support system to calm you down, because you know your manifestation's coming, but don't let the ego convince you that it's not. Right? Have that support system. Have that system in place to help you ground yourself and stay consistent even when it gets tough, because you want to have faith even when it gets tough. Even when it's difficult, you still want to have that faith and stay consistent with your manifestation. That's part of the process of manifestation, is staying consistent even when you don't feel like doing it. When I don't feel like meditating, I do it anyways. When I don't feel like recording a video, I do it anyways. And I know that might sound like an egotistical taking action perspective, but what you have to realize is that when you just do it anyways, you start to get into the flow and you start to feel better. Right? And I can balance that with knowing when to surrender and allow and not hustle too hard. I'm saying to take action from a flow state where you're flowing, but you still want to be taking action consistently and have that support system to tell you to just keep going even when you don't feel like you want to keep going. Okay, so that's why I have my own coach. That's why I coach people, to help you stay consistent. Okay, the third thing is going to be a little bit more esoteric, but this is what actually helps me to have faith. This is, maybe you won't resonate with this, maybe you will. I'm just going to share it with you anyway, because I feel the need to be a little bit authentic here and share this with you. But I've experienced a lot of synchronicity in my life, like a lot of synchronicity. A lot of things that you may call mystical experiences, where I believe that there's a divine guidance guiding me to where I need to actually be. And so I've had so many mystical experiences, and then it's almost like in that moment of synchronicity, it's like I know I'm being guided. It's like I know there's no coincidence. And so part of that allows me to stay consistent with what it is that I want to create and stay in alignment with that energy, because like when you know you're being guided, right? When you know you're being guided to something that you want to create, you know that there's no coincidences. I don't put any labels on what's guiding me. It can be spirit guides, it can be angels, right? And if you don't resonate with this point, then, just wait for the fourth point. But there's certain people that will resonate with this. So I feel called to share this because you know that you're being guided. So use that into your faith when you're trying to manifest, right? Use that. Don't forget. Remind yourself. Think back to your synchronistic experiences, right? Whenever I feel doubt with my YouTube channel or, creating my dream life, I just think back to all the synchronicity that I've had, all the powerful experiences that I've had, where I forget the spiritual connection to the universe that I actually have. And there's a divine intelligence kind of flowing through me, bringing me what it is that I want. Because I don't think we're in this alone. We're not in this alone. We're being guided by something higher here. So you're not alone here. You don't have to just trust in yourself. You can, because everything is one, and you're technically trusting yourself when you trust the universe. But then also, paradoxically, this is how reality works. You know that you're being guided by something higher than you. So remind yourself of that when you feel doubt, and think back to your synchronistic experiences. That can really help you. That helps me a lot, because I've had so many mystical experiences at this point where if I didn't have those experiences, the universe kind of gave me those experiences for a reason. I'll explain to you those stories in another video, but there's so many powerful synchronistic experiences that I've had where it's almost like I can use that to fuel my mission, to have the confidence, because I was like, oh yeah, there's no coincidences. I know that. I don't have to believe that. I have a knowing. I have a knowing in my being. It's not even an intellectual concept. It's a deep knowing and a trust that there's no coincidence. And so I can use that for the big manifestation. It's like, okay, if I know there's no coincidences, if I know I can trust the universe, then why not be bold and go for my dream? Because for the longest time, I wouldn't do this. I would stay stuck in a job I hated, doing school that I hated. And then I realized, well, wait a second, if this is all true, if this whole spiritual awakening process is actually true, well then why can't I go for my dream? And why can't I stay consistent with that dream and think back to my synchronicities and know that I'm being guided by the universe, by angels, by spirit guides? And I know how it sounds if you're not connected to this kind of stuff, but just keep in mind that there's synchronicity all around. The question is, are you aware of it? And I know that if you're watching this, you're probably aware of it. So just use that. Use that as a reminder to stay faithful. This personally helps me a lot to stay super consistent with what it is that I'm trying to manifest, because I can just remain confident with a knowing that I'm being protected. That's how I feel. I know that I'm being protected, and I know that I'm being guided to something bigger here. I know that I'm being guided to something more powerful here. And it's honestly hard for me to say this because I know that some people aren't going to resonate with this, but this is how I feel. Okay, I feel that I'm being guided and that I'm being shown the path that I need to follow. And that is how I truly feel. So if you don't resonate with that, then that's all good. If you do, smash that like button for me because it helps my channel grow. Also, the fourth thing is an equation that I've made for you. So this equation is to remove time plus persistence. Okay, so understand this. Stay persistent. Keep taking action on your goals. Of course, take action from an effortless space while being present to the moment, because if you've been watching this channel for a long time, it's not just about taking the action, but it's about being in the flow state and being aligned with who you are while taking action. Okay, we all have that. But then here's what you do is that when you are persistent, you want to be removing time. And part of removing time is removing your ego, which comes back to being present to the moment. So you want to stay persistent, but remove time because you know that time is an illusion. Okay, so it's like persistence minus time equals your manifestation. Right? So here's my perspective on this. I know that if I record a video every single day, no matter what, and I remove time from my mind and I connect to the present moment, it has to happen. Like all of a sudden, like I want 100K, like eventually my goal is to get to 500,000. Okay, and I'm gonna get there eventually. Watch how it happens. If you're here from the beginning, watch this growth happen, because I understand that right now, I'm not where I want to be. But if I stay consistent in this present moment, I know that it's going to come, because how I feel now is going to feel the same when I have 500,000 subscribers. It's the same feeling because I have removed time while I'm recording a video. I become very present to the moment. I shift into the oneness of the moment when I record a video. I connect to the oneness. And so I actually know that if I remove time, that it's actually going to come no matter what. Because when you're persistent, but you also take away time from the equation, it's almost like you're already in the role of how you would be if the manifestation was done now. So it's like you're already taking action, but because you remove time from your experience and you see that time is an illusion and that the only moment that exists is now, what happens is you're able to have more faith because you can kind of embody the frequency of who you would be as if the manifestation was already done, right? You can just stay. So it's like persistence, once again, persistence minus time equals your manifestation, which actually gives you faith, because you're faithful when you're not lost in time. When you're lost in time and you're lost in the ego, you don't have faith because you start projecting into the past and projecting into the future. But if you stay consistent in the present moment, persistence, and you remove time, you'll have a much easier time having this faith, having this knowing that your manifestation's done. If you combine it with the other points, you're definitely not going to have an issue having faith and trusting the process. So the fifth thing that I have for you is to understand that problems and barriers, right? That's what the ego labels these things as, is problems and barriers, are actually here to help you grow. So just keep this in mind. This is very a higher consciousness mindset, because if you look at all the successful people, like if you've read Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, he talks about having this unwavering faith, right? because unwavering faith is about not allowing external things in your life to prove to you that your manifestation is not here yet. So you see something and you're like, oh, okay, that means my manifestation is not here yet. But you see, that's your mind trying to trick you and tell you that it's not here, when in reality, what you should do is have a different thought process to that appearance in the moment, the problem or the barrier, and understand, wait a second, that doesn't mean that my manifestation is not coming. That means that, there's still a process going on and that my manifestation's still on its way, but this is part of the process, right? It's like, oh, I didn't get that house that I wanted. Okay, that means that my house, I'm going to find a better house, right? You don't want to just jump to conclusions, because these problems and these barriers are testing you almost to see if you're really willing to be the vibration. Because this is what's coming in my mind right now, is that I'm sure you've heard before, that you don't attract what you want, but you attract who you are, right? So if you have something that happens on the outside, and then right away you tell yourself, okay, that means my manifestation is not coming. Well, you just changed who you are to somebody that doesn't believe their manifestation is coming. You don't have faith. So understand that when you have a problem or something that arises in your experience, just understand that it's just happening there to teach you a lesson. It's there to teach you something and allow you to just learn from that and not attach to it. It doesn't mean that if something happens, your manifestation is not here yet. So just because my channel is not growing the way that I want, doesn't mean I'm not going to get to 100,000 subscribers or 500,000 subscribers. It doesn't mean any of that. It just means that there's a process. You see, but the mindset in itself kind of creates the manifestation. Super paradoxical, because when you believe that it's a process, like for example, if something happens, you can listen closely here, because this is going to be super, super critical. Okay, this is my perspective. If something happens and then you believe that because that happened, that you're not going to get the manifestation, that thought is what blocked the manifestation. But if you believe that your manifestation is still coming anyway, and you see that problem as a teacher, that mindset is what will give you the manifestation. Okay, so think about that. You jumping to the conclusion, thinking that your manifestation is not coming because of this, this, and this, and this, that thought that you created, having the doubt, not having the faith, is what blocked the manifestation to begin with. That's what created the block. It's not that something happened and then you now are blocked because of that thing. You created the block because external reality has nothing to do with your faith. Faith is about believing in the process even when stuff doesn't happen the way that you wanted it to happen. And that mindset is what will bring you to the manifestation, because that's what's necessary to manifest. So there's all sorts of barriers that arise when I dropped out of school to record videos. Like, because I'm going to be straight with you. I want 500,000 subscribers. That's my goal. And watch me get that goal as I go through this process. I don't care how long it's going to take. I don't know the when. I don't need to know the how. I know what I want, but it will happen. And every single time there's barriers along the way, does that mean that I'm not going to get to 500K? Not at all. It just means that there's a process. And for all I know, all these things are happening for me to teach me when I finally get to 500K that, these things happen for a reason. And going back to point number 3, I know that everything happens for a reason, so I can use that once again to see the problem, and I'm like, oh, okay, that doesn't mean that my manifestation is not coming. Everything happens for a reason. I know that already. The key is to not intellectually agree with me. If you intellectually agree with me that everything happens for a reason, then you're not going to be able to have faith. If you truly know in your being, if you truly have been through synchronicity, if you've truly been through the awakening process, and you truly believe that things do happen for a reason, that is the kind of mindset that will bring you the manifestation. So it stops being some fairy-tale, I don't even know if that's the word, new age beliefs. It actually becomes reality for you, because it's so interesting, because is it the thought that create, like when you say everything happens for a reason, that mentality will help you to manifest much faster. You see what I'm saying? Is it the, like, you thinking that everything happens for a reason is a high quality thought to have. And everything actually does happen for a reason. But when you actually apply this in your daily life and you see the problem and you're like, oh, that like a problem arises, your mind goes, okay, this means that I'm one step closer to a manifestation. You see, that's an abundance mindset. You see no money in your bank account, you go to yourself and you say, okay, that's just a lesson. The universe is teaching me a lesson to prepare me for making that 20K a month. You see, but that mindset is giving you, it's keeping the container open to receive that 20K a month that you really want. But if you tell yourself, okay, this barrier happened and that means I'm not going to hit the 20K a month, well, that in itself is actually blocking you from eventually reaching the 20K a month when the universe was just testing you, trying to tell you, hey, this is a test to see what's your resilience like. What's your level of resilience? So you see how all this interconnects? Having true faith is, personally, in my opinion, about going through the spiritual awakening process and truly believing in yourself. Because personally for me, I don't know how it is for you, if I didn't have all those synchronistic experiences, I wouldn't be able to make all these bold moves in my life. I feel like I'm supported. I feel like I'm being guided. I feel like I have this trust in the universe that's something bigger than my ego. I think there's something bigger going on here. And honestly, I can't take credit for everything that I do. I can't take full credit. And I know it sounds crazy, but I can't take full credit for everything I speak in my videos, all the lives that I impact. I can't take credit for that. That'd be so egotistical, because when I record a video, it's almost like I'm channeling and I'm kind of letting it come through, and I can't take credit for that. My ego, it's interesting because, like, yes, I'm putting in the work. Yes, I'm meditating every single day. Yes, I'm recording a video every single day. But also I have this understanding where it's like, it's not just me as my ego. It's something bigger than my ego. And that mindset is helping me to manifest so much easier. It's helping me to have faith in the manifestation process so much easier, because I know that I don't have to do it all alone. I know that I'm being guided, that I can trust the process, right? And if you're not into that, then, maybe this channel isn't for you, because this channel is about spiritual development, connecting to who you really are. And part of that is synchronicity. Synchronicity happens all across my life, and I want you to tap into that. And I'm being authentic because I think it can help you to have more faith, right? If you're trying to start a business or do this, you've seen synchronicity, well, then use that. Even when the problems arise, connect it back to your synchronicity and say, wait a second, I've already experienced that, this is happening for a reason. So use that. Use it to fuel your dream, If you truly trusted the universe, you would not allow these problems to define your internal state. If you truly trusted the universe, you would drop out of whatever it is not serving you, and you would just do what it is that your soul and your heart really wants. But maybe you don't trust the universe. Maybe you think that external reality does have to dictate your internal state. So you have to let go of that, because don't get me wrong, once again, I haven't gotten everything that I wanted, but I'm sharing with you my perspective because I would not be able to do all these bold moves like dropping out of school, investing all this money in my coach, doing this, doing that, if I didn't have trust in the universe and trust in the process, that there was something bigger than me. There's something more powerful than just me and my little ego. So I want you to really understand this when you're trying to manifest, because this can really, really help you in this whole process. And that is how you actually have faith. So I want you to check out my free guided meditation that's specifically designed to help you connect deeper to the present moment. It's going to be as a link in the description box of this video, and I'll also leave it as a comment in this video. That's all I have for you today. Have yourself a great day, and I'll see you in the next video.